board. H3 is a follow-up agenda item from once it was on the agenda once before. It was on, I don't remember, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I don't recall the date. It was on as a result of my fulfilling my obligation pursuant to the county ordinance, which called for me to propose an amended ordinance to this board when there is an increase in the salary of a Superior Court judge, such that it proposed at least an amendment to the ordinance which sets your salaries. And so we were on whatever date that was. There was discussion. There was a motion to table the issue until such time as the remainder of the bargaining units were negotiated and concluded, and it remained on the table. As you well know, today, earlier in discussion and action, the remainder of the bargaining units were acted upon and approved, and so I took it upon myself to take the matter off the table and replace it on the agenda as previously instructed. That's why you see it here today. I put it on in precisely the same form as it was on once before, which is what the ordinance as it currently is written and in place calls for, and that is to propose a change to be 25% of a Superior Court judge's salary. That is approximately $47,000 and change, if I have my numbers right. And I know there was some public comments, board comments made at the time. A discussion last about whether that they would support that particular amount of an increase or not, but also in some brief discussions and comments from individual board members since, and two of them only. I have taken the liberty of proposing another draft ordinance, which you did not officially ask me to do, but I took it upon myself to do so. You can do with it what you want. It is included as the second attachment to this item, and it's an ordinance which contemplates an increase to your salaries in an amount equal to that which the bargaining units were negotiated, and that's the roads, the UPEC, the mid-management. Generally speaking, that's 2.5% upon ratification, 2% this coming July, and then 3% the following July. And like I said, I took it upon myself to propose that, and the question is if you have any questions of me.
Mr. Burns, questions by the board of Mr. Burns?
Well, Mr. Chairman, since that last discussion, and one of the things that has always irritated me has been this 25% trigger thing that's been in the ordinance, and I believe it dates back to sometime in the early mid-90s. It was something I know Terry Lemke at the time was on the board, and Mr. Bixby was relatively new as the county administrator, and they proposed it as a means to try to make it less controversial. But as far as I'm concerned, it embedded that into the ordinance that every time the judge's salary goes up, the county council brings this back. And it's like, why don't you just go be an Iranian and flog yourself? Because in the 20 years or so since that's been on the books, I tell you, it's never been acted on by the board, and all it does is create hate and discontent, and really creates an uproar. So if nothing else, what the board needs to do is to remove that trigger from the ordinance. It has no business being there, and all it does, if the board's going to take a salary increase, do what the employees do in terms of that amount from time to time. This board hasn't had its salary adjusted since around 2002 or somewhere in there in the early 2000s. And in terms of the cost of living type of increases. So I think at that point in time, if the board wants to do that, I would be inclined to support the alternate, but I'm in no way in favor of the first one that was presented. And I think more importantly, we need to eliminate that trigger so county council doesn't come back and bring that back like they've done from time to time.
Thank you, gentlemen. I agree wholeheartedly with you. 25% needs to be removed.
Yeah, regardless.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I apologize. I neglected to mention that I have in the second draft ordinance, that's removed. The trigger's out. remembering comments from the board once before.
If not, the public participants, would you come to the podium and say your name?
I hate agreeing with you, but that's,
Nobody can have it.
believe me, I won't, but that's long overdue, getting taken it out. Each of you represent about 4,500. You really look nice when you smile.
Thank you.
Each of you represent approximately 4,500 people in Madison County. Clovis County Supervisors represent approximately 4,000 people each. In 1998, your salary was $18,000 with a declining population. You have stated publicly that you haven't had a raise since 2002. This is blatantly false, and Mr. Chapman knows that. The Lassen County Times even supported this claim, which, he's been your best, the Lassen County Times has been your best enabler because they don't print anything except what you want them to print. In 2013, you amended Ordinance 532C from $32,263 to $35,485. But that's not what your payroll records indicate that you were paid. And we have sheets on all of you. I mean, we put Jim Chapman's because it's the most gross example of what you're doing. But we have sheets on all of you.
I thought I was going to drop on that.
We thought about it, but you have a nice smile. You didn't.
I'm trying to smile more often. Do I get paid more if I smile?
Yes. You haven't noticed your name in the website lately, have you?
I don't look at it.
Oh, good.
I got better things to spend my time on.
Oh, that makes me feel good. You did not want to go through public hearings to change your salary, so you quietly and unethically changed your salary in the budget. The 2015-2016 budget reflects this, which you raised your salary to over $2,000 in the budget. You raised it from $35,000 to $37,000. So on July 1st, you gave yourself a raise, and you've been doing this since 2002.
If I may, I think you're speaking of step increases or longevity increases.
I'm talking about your paycheck.
Maybe.
I'm talking about your paycheck.
You
Give yourself.
We have not been voting ourselves in raise.
No, because you can do it clandestinely now in the budget, which is kind of unique. Ordinance 532C, approved by you on September 11, 2013, capped your annual salary at $35,485, and you're all making more than that. And the public should know that with your $17,000 benefits package, and that's for public records. That's your payroll history, public records. Mr. Chapman and Mr. Tyler are they get over $53,000 now, and Mr. Hammond's close to that. Your budgets indicate that you have been giving yourself these clandestine increases since 2002. You bank the money, Bob. You bank the money. You get a paycheck with all this extra money in there, and it's a pay increase. Since 2002, these budget payroll increases have been from 1.5% to 9%. The public should know what you're really earning, what you're really taking home, and it's so much more than. I mean, I think you should be paid. I really do. I think you should be paid, but like you've all said before, you need to be competitive. And you are competitive at the salary that you gave yourself in 2013 compared to counties that are Columbus County, Cedar County. Those are competitive salaries. And now you want, Mr. Burns wants to give you another $10,000, raise it to $47,260, an additional $10,000, which makes you not competitive. You know, Mr. Hempel sits up there for a whole year, and I think he's given 2 reports on what he's done for his district. And I've come before you and asked each of you, what have you done for your districts? I mean, other than taking the vacation meetings, what have you done for Westwood? What have you done for District 1? Nobody responds. You think by just sitting up there that you have value more than a competitive wage. You don't. There are over 400 people, employees in this county. People like Susan, people like Melody, people like Dean and Nancy and Diana. They do the work. You don't do the work. You show up here, you talk to a few people, maybe answer a few phone calls. You're being paid enough. This is an insult to want, after your increase, your $2,000 increase on July 1st, to come back with a regular ordinance and ask for $10,000 more. It's just, I mean, I don't know that you have any shame. I really don't. Know your value here, you know? And get a county council that knows what he's doing, for heaven's sakes.
Thank you.